Right, it's the morning of day 3, it's Wednesday morning. I'm over here on the beautiful Horse Island. Just a quick recap on the first 2 days. To be fair, for myself and my partner Richie, the draw bag's not been very kind. We thought we'd got a good rotation on paper, and to be honest we could have got weights from our rotation, but we've just not drawn the pegs. Anybody what knows me knows I hate blaming the draw, but we have just simply, both of us, the first 2 days have drawn the wrong end of the section. But you know, that's what happens in these competitions, and hopefully we're going to get some good weights in the last 3 days of the week, just to try and get back up towards the top 10. Day 1 for me, I drew at peg 3 at Bunerky. It can be a good section. The match had been won from that section on the Sunday's open match. It was drawn at the top end, peg 8 I think it was, Mick Viles. Brilliant angler. The bream have really got on the feed there. He's had 40 kilo on peg 8, so we suspected there were going to be some bream at that top end, but I've drawn peg 3. Peg 1 wasn't in, peg 2, that was obviously then the end peg. I had quite a bit of space there, and to be fair, you know, I've had quite a few fish, but within 20 minutes, half an hour, we could see that the bream were feeding again at the top end, so we've just kind of been watching them, and after a couple of hours it was just kind of leave them to it and catch whatever we could in that area. I came away with 8 kilo 900. I've had a lot of small fish in that, but to be fair, I've had 2 decent skimmers in the last 2 hours, which has obviously helped. It's a little bit shallower there than the top end of the section, so that put me on 8 kilo 900. A little bit disappointed, but to be fair, looking at the draw, I could probably have only got about another kilo or 2 kilo in that area, I think, the way that I fished it. So I could just hope that Richie had caught some fish. Unfortunately, he's been at Brackley next to Dean Barlow, and he's had a really tough match. He's had a lot of snags in his peg, rocks and things. He's lost about 24-25 up lengths, which is not ideal, and it's been windy there. He's drawn peg, I think it was about peg 3, I think, which again, that's a section that usually fishes better at the top end, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Dean's done well at the side of him. He's caught some fish on the pole at a brief spell when the wind dropped and allowed Dean to catch a few fish on that. But Richie came away with, I think he's had about 6 kilo. But anyway, day 2 took us to Connolly Shore and Garradice. Richie again, he's drawn the wrong end of the section, but he's drawn a peg that wasn't actually fished the previous day. As it turned out, the angler that should have gone to that peg fished a different peg altogether in a different section, and he was actually disqualified for that. So Richie's peg hadn't got any bait going in there the previous day, so whether that's affected it or not, I don't know. But he's come away with about, I think he's 6 kilo again. Sorry, I think he had 3 kilo on the previous day. 3 kilo the previous day, I do apologise, but 6 kilo on day 2. So they've caught a few fish on the pole there, which was a little bit unexpected. Dean Barlow again was near Richie, and he's done well from where he was. I think he had 11 kilo. A lot of those fish came on the pole, and they caught the middle to the far right hand side of that section, at the other end of the section. For me, I was on peg 2 at Connolly Shore. On paper, the wrong end of the section. Peg 1 had come second in the section on the previous day with 15 kilo. Adam Wakeling won that section around about peg 7 or 8, which is just round that bend for you guys that know it. Just round to the left. He 21 kilo, which was a great weight, but that weight's always capable there. You're always capable, or somebody's capable of getting that weight there. But anyway, I've drawn peg 2 and I've just gone for it. Like I say, we've been chasing it after day 1 a little bit, so I've just gone there and attacked it. I've started quite aggressively for hybrids, and the first 90 minutes I was leading all that part of the section there. I've had a really good start. I've caught some hybrids early on, but gradually after 90 minutes it's just slowed down and got slower and slower and slower. No matter how much I've changed feeders, I've changed the different feed rates, I've changed all sorts, I just couldn't get the fish back. And then the first 2 hours of the match has been a real struggle. I mean, almost a waste of time. I've hardly put anything in the net in 2 hours. And then I've had 2 decent skimmers in the last hour, which has kind of got me back up there. To cut a long story short, the section has fished harder than expected. The section was won with 14 kilos, which is, you know, not a great deal for that section. I finished up with just over 12 kilos, so I was quite pleased with myself for getting so close to winning that section. In hindsight, I've come off 4 fish, 4 of those hybrids. There's some lilies in front of my on peg 2, some large lilies that are about 12 metres out from the bank, and there's some pike there as well. And when the pike are around, you tend to find your bullying fish a little bit more than what you want to, even on quite strong tattle and big hooks. And I pulled off 4 hybrids, which would have won them with the section quite easily, but when you're on fish and when those hybrids are in your peg, you've got to get them out. You've got to make the most of the period when they're in your peg. That's what the top lads have been doing again this week. We saw it last year, we've seen it this week. They might only be in your peg for half an hour, they might be there an hour, you don't know. You've got to catch them while they're there, and you know, but anyway, I've come away with 12 kilos there, so that puts us now after day 2 on 30 kilos, which is nowhere near where we wanted to be. We're on 30 kilos. On paper we are 27 kilos behind the pair who are in 10th place. Doesn't sound a lot, but obviously those people are all off to sections today which may fish. We don't know how the strongs. We haven't been to the top sections. Today is one of those sections, especially where I've drawn, where potentially we could get a decent weight, so hopefully, you know, that's going to happen. I've drawn peg 2, which is peg 3 on Horse Island. Peg 1 hasn't been drawn. Peg 2 on my right is now the end peg. I'm peg 3. It's got form this week. Roddy Scott drew it on Sunday in the open match and had 30 kilo. He's a fantastic angler, a brilliant angler. You know, it just what he does works, and he's brilliant at catching those hybrids. 30 kilo he had, and yesterday he threw up a weight of about 26 kilo, I think it was, off the same peg that I'm on today. So the fish, if they're not there today, they've certainly been in the area, and I'm hoping they're still there. I'm going to start aggressive. I'm going to start very, very positive. I haven't brought the pole with me. It's blowing quite strong, actually, to be fair. I've got Dean Barlow 2 pegs to my left. He's obviously got the pole up as well, and I've seen him win the county and win this section and win the county on the pole on this actual on these pegs on Horse Island. So that'll be interesting. But like I say, I've set up 2 4-metre horizons today with the new 6,000 reels. I don't know if I'll get any match footage because it's quite windy over there and I'm sat out in the water, so it might be awkward to get some match footage today, but if not, I'll obviously fill you in on what happened later on tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, I've clipped up at 50 metres. Phil Ringer fished here yesterday. He 21 kilo. He didn't win the section, but obviously 21 kilos, a good weight. He caught on a cage feeder, piling plenty of casters in. Quite aggressive, but he fished 40 metres. I've just had a quick word with Roddy Scott, who fished the same peg, and he's convinced me this morning that those bigger hybrids are a little bit further out in 50 metres. So I'm going to go with Roddy's. You'll find out after the match whether that was the right thing to do or not. It's also a little bit further than those 2 anglers either side of me, so that's another reason why I've gone to 50. I can easily hit it with the kit I've got, so even if the wind gets up, I should still be able to reach that range. Plenty of caster, some chopped worm. I'm going to kick off with 3 red maggots on the hook. Nice big size 10 hook, I think, and just see how it goes that first hour. So yeah, that's it. We're chasing the weight. Richie has gone to peg 3 on the new island, Inish Island. A lot of roach there, a lot of roach. Steve Ringer was there yesterday. He had 15 kilo of roach. He started off for hybrids quite well, 40 odd metres, 40 odd turns, but whatever it was. Soon realised it was going to be a roach match. He's come back closer in and he's fished his roach match. He's just got his head down, caught roach with a little cage feeder just over the weed. There's a big bank of weed there on Inish Island. It's about, well, it's pole range really, which is causing quite a few problems. Otherwise I think Steve would have fished a lot closer than that. He's fished about 26 turns, I think it was. 15 kilo roach. Richie's going there today. I think he's just going to fish on that about 30 metre range, get his head down and fish for roach. If he catches any hybrids and which come along, then great, that's an added bonus, but I think he's aiming for 10 or 15 kilo there. Busy day, biter chuck, everyone's had biter chuck on there. He's just obviously got to make sure that he's hitting those bites and coming back with fish. So make or break day really. If we can get a really good weight today between us, then you know it might put us back on track for a top 10 finish. But like I said, we're way off the pace at the minute, way off the pace. I think we're about 35th or 40th out of 49 pairs. So it's a weight competition. A big weight can soon turn around, and that's what happens in these competitions. So it's half an hour to the kick off. So I'll update you with a blog later on. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying the footage. Right, you've all heard about Highland and its stunning scenery, and I'm sure you'll agree there's not much more dramatic scenery than this. I mean, we're at it's day 4. We're just going into day 4. Richie's drawn Garradice Lake on Church Shore. Not a big weight section, but he's drawn a good part of that section. Paul Keeley won that section yesterday, so all on the pole with about 9. It was a high 9 kilos. So Richie's gone there today. Today's Thursday, the 4th day of competition. I've drawn. I'm on the rocks actually. The pole lost skirt, and there's the pump house, but it's a split section with the rocks area. I'm on peg 10 on the rocks. Adam Wakeling was on my peg yesterday. He actually had 10 kilos. 10 kilos. I'm not sure what it was, or a mid 10 kilo. All on the pole at 13 meters. Interestingly, he never had a bite on the feeder, which is saying a hell of a lot for an angler of his caliber. So it's very windy over there today. We're going to go over there in a little while just so you can see the peg. So hopefully I'm going to catch them on the pole, but like I said, the wind really isn't helping it. The wind's blowing straight into our face there. So I'm going to feed a pole line. I put a pole line in. I've also clipped up a 15 meter short feeder line as well, in case the fish are short, but we can't present the bait properly with the pole. And I'm also going to fish at about 50 meter range with a feeder, just to see what's out there for the first hour, while I give my pole lines and my shorter lines time to kick in really. Yesterday, Horse Island, I caught some fish, but I was off the pace. Like I said, I was on peg 3. I've started at 50 metres. Like I spoke to Roddy Scott before the start, and he said the larger hybrids are usually at that furthest range. So I fished 50 metres, and within the first hour I've caught a couple of hybrids, not big ones, a few little roach and stuff, but it soon became apparent that the fish were a lot shorter than that. So Dean Barlow was two pegs to my left, and he's really started. After about half an hour, he started catching 1 or 2 hybrids at 40 metres. So after about an hour and a half, I've just come short. I've had to put another line in at 40 metres. So I've come back 10 metres, and I've noticed he was fishing it with a cage feeder. I've switched to a cage, and gradually I've just started getting bites. Caught a hell of a lot of small roach. There became a problem, to be fair. Any multiple of maggot that I put on the hook yesterday just got obliterated with roach. Great to get so many bites, but I noticed Dean was starting to get larger and larger fish as the session went on. The wind was quite strong as well, and I've just kind of knuckled down. I've tried to put a weight of roach together, and I wasn't catching them quick enough to keep up with what Dean was catching, and I wasn't getting any of the bonus hybrids. So in the last hour, the last ditch attempt just to get some bigger fish, I've switched to a larger bait, and in the last 30 minutes I bet I've had about 8 kilo, maybe 9 kilo. I've had some big hybrids and some big roach as well. I finished the session with just under 15 kilos, which is a nice weight, it's a nice healthy weight, but Dean's gone on to win that section quite easily with 28 kilos. Interestingly, 8 of his fish were 3-pounders, 3-pound hybrids, and I'm not sure what bait he's fished with. I think he's caught on corn, to be fair. I thought he'd fish with worm early on, but I think he's caught on corn, but he's done brilliant, and that's really kept him up there. I think going into day 4, him and his partner Steve Fleming are now 2nd overall, I believe, in the pairs, so they've done fantastic. Richie went to the New Island, Inish Island. We knew it was going to be a roach match. Get your head down and fish for roach, that was the plan. If I'd gone there, that was going to be my plan, and he's gone there and he's done that. If any larger hybrids come along, take them. There's a bank of weed there, so he can't fish too close in. I think he's fished about 30 metres. He's fished a fantastic match. He has had 1 or 2 bonus fish. He's had at least 1 hybrid, nearly 4 pound, and I think he's had a couple of other bonus fish as well. But he's got down. I think he's had around 100 roach. He's won the section. He's done brilliant. I think he's had 13 kilo. So we came away yesterday as a pair with 30 kilo, which is nice and healthy, but still not enough to get us back in the hunt. Like I say, he's done a fantastic job. Really pleased for him, because he just wanted a day's fishing where he's been drying. He's just not been getting bites. So that's brilliant for Richie. Like I say, day 4 now. Tomorrow we're going to potentially a large weight section. I think it's Connolly and Greenies. That's where the massive weights came from on day 1 and day 2. We think it's dying down. I mean, the weights were a lot lower there yesterday, so we'll just find out tomorrow. It's forecast to be blowing an absolute gale tomorrow, so that could either help us or hinder us. It might wake the fish up if they've gone off yesterday and today. We'll obviously see the weights from today, what's going to be waiting for us tomorrow. So Meanwhile, just have a look at this. I mean, talk about beautiful scenery. I mean, look at this. You could be anywhere. You could be in the Everglades. Absolute beautiful, stunning scenery. Don't know if we're going to get any rain today, but I've never been to this section before, but I just think it's worth showing you guys. It's just starting to rain now, but we're expecting that. We're going to get some showers. As you can see, I can only imagine what this must be like when the fish come here to spawn. It must be amazing. Absolute stunning. That's what Ireland's all about. But come on, let's go and have a look at the peg. Right, I'm not sure if you can hear me with the wind, but I'll speak a little bit closer to the mic. As you can see, this is the rock section. I'm on peg 10, under the trees here. Bit of shelter from my kit when that rain comes. There we go. The wind's just about, to be fair, it's died down a little bit from what it was like, but it keeps coming, it keeps going. The plan of approach, I haven't gone past 11 metres because, like I say, I could only hold a pole when I was plumbing up. I plumbed up at 11 metres. It's not very deep, it's only about 4 feet deep, so I'm not too confident of catching on that, to be fair, but I'm going to feed it anyway. Just cup some balls in, keep it ticking over. I've got a Legend Slim, 11-foot Legend Slim, 3.3 metres set up at 15 metres, just in case those fish do come close. Hopefully I can catch them on a short feeder. And then the line that I'm going to kick off with is the feeder at 50 metres. Bream can show up here. Like I say, Adam Wakeling fished this peg yesterday and never had a bite, which says a hell of a lot. He didn't fish for bream, he's just fished for bites, and he's not had a single bite on it. So obviously everything's tied down, pole roller's tied down with the wind, everything. You've got to make sure everything's alright out here with the wind and everything, especially as you're out in the water. So I'm going to kick off. I'm going to couple the balls in at 11 metres. I'm not going to feed that 15 metre line at the start. I'm going to kick off on the feeder, get a bit of bait out there, and just see if we can get some fish for that first hour on that tip line, and then come in and just keep topping that short pole line up on with little balls of ground bait, and just see how it goes from there. Like I said, this wind might increase even more, but we'll just see how it goes.